Oops. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Fire from Heaven Philosophy. It's evening right now, but I decided I would film a coffee with AJ episode. But I was gonna. Gosh, it's already like Wednesday, and I haven't recorded any lives or any podcast episodes or anything. I've been kind of a bum this week on recording lives. I've been working on the album. I'm gonna take my glasses off because the light's reflecting weird. I'm in my kitchen, which I don't usually record in here, but there's supper cooking, so I'm just keeping an eye on it. I keep forgetting to do this. 1 second. Okay. Well, my Wi-Fi's annoying, so if the connection's being weird, I don't know. I pay for it, so I don't know why it doesn't work, but anyways. I keep meaning to do this before I even start off any episodes, to do an introduction, because I always forget. Good news is Fire from Heaven's growing constantly. Music is growing, fan base is growing, email list is growing. So I need to do an introduction to be better at doing introductions for new fans. So I'm still trying to practice this, actually figure it out. But so we start with the introduction. Hey, what's up? My name is AJ, heavy metal artist. My project name is Fire from Heaven. It is a solo project, and I do heavy metal. I kind of after being an artist for a while and kind of discovering my sound. Obviously, heavy metal is a pretty general thing to describe my music, and in order to reach more fans, differentiate myself from literally hundreds of other heavy metal artists alone, I call what I do mythical metal or mythical metalcore, just to kind of differentiate a little bit. What else I need to add to the introduction? Like I said, I'm an artist. This is a solo project. Also, the reason I do these lives and I record podcasts and stuff like that is because I believe artists can be doing so much more on social media platforms in order to engage with their fans and stuff like that. Of course, artists obviously tour and stuff like that, but it could be utilizing social media and stuff, and that's what I try to do because I can't tour. I'm a stay-at-home dad. No, I'm just kidding. I am a dad, though. I'm a metal dad. I need to make sure to include that in my introduction. And I love heavy metal. I love being a dad. All the things around being a dad and heavy metal. If you like those, then you're going to enjoy what I do. I'm also kind of a nerd sometimes with games, fantasy movies, stuff like that. Like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, or a lot of Marvel movies too are sick. But I'm not as nerdy about Marvel stuff because I'm not a hardcore comic reader and stuff like that. Some people are hardcore. I just like the movies and stuff. I never really read the comics, but I've read the Lord of the Rings books and stuff. So I'm more of a nerd in those sorts of things, like fantasy and stuff like that, than in the more modern fantasy movies. Alright, get out of here. You're being annoying. Gosh. So, after a long introduction, I need to practice this more because I'd probably get better at it. Then it'd be more smooth and more easy to understand what I do. But essentially, I'm a solo artist, heavy metal artist. I'm a metal dad, and I call my genre is mythical metal. Okay, so that basically just means in my music I do a lot of storytelling and stuff like that. I'm actually working on my first fictional book, so I'm a metal artist and stuff like that. I produce my own music, all that stuff to make my own music. I don't hire anyone. I hire artists, which leads me to my next topic, finally have the guy who does my album art working on the new album art. And it's gonna be sick. I'm excited. I literally have been talking about this for like the past 3 months. So finally he's working on it, and if you want to help contribute to paying for things like album art and stuff like that, you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/fellowship of fire from heaven. Check it out. You get exclusive access to music, possibly my album. No, not my full album yet, because I haven't finished it yet, which leads me to that, which is going to do an album update in this video too. So, if you're a new listener to my podcast, like I record these lives and I put them up as a podcast, like on Spotify and stuff like that, called the Fire from Heaven Philosophy. So definitely check that out. If you haven't, we're getting close to 100 episodes now, and I just started doing it like last year. So yeah, but where was I going with that? Gosh. Oh yeah. So for a while, my podcast, the Fire from Heaven Philosophy, is basically, man, my hair is crazy. Basically just like the set of ideas behind my music, and it goes into like the work of my music and stuff like that. So, and just my own personal documentary, kind of. So I basically document anything that's going on in my day-to-day life, things I'm learning, things I'm reading or practicing, just different things like that. I'm also, like I mentioned earlier, I'm working on a fictional book, but I have written one book before this. It hasn't even been formally published, and I haven't even actually published it like anywhere yet. I'm still planning on doing an audiobook at some point, but I haven't published a book like actually anywhere yet. But it's called The Short-Lived Artist versus the Enduring Artist, and I talk a lot about like artist philosophy, like my philosophy as an artist, and just creating music and stuff like that, and just like the work of it and the struggle of it. And I talk a lot about not being a perfectionist when you're creating your art, because like that basically just hinders it, keeps it from getting done. And I've really been being a perfectionist lately, especially getting closer to finishing my album. I'm like, no wait, I want to add one more song here, or like an outro there, or something like that. And I'm trying to find an in-between, not trying to be a perfectionist, but also, striving for excellence, but not to the point of being a perfectionist. So I want my album to be great, but also it's been a while, and I hope to have it released by now. And it's like, I'm taking my time, but I'm also trying not to be the perfectionist, because, well, it's not going to get done, and I'm not going to be able to, get on to my next work until this one's done. I have tons of ideas and stuff. It's not like I'm trying to, like, rush out, a bunch of stuff and not make it, quality stuff. And I talk about this a lot in my book, and that I believe, like, quantity develops quality, and it's not like quality doesn't just come just because you say quality over quantity, So, but I've also been kind of learning the other side of that viewpoint, because when I wrote that book, I was a very determined mindset. Like, I'm going to get these things done and stuff like that, but like lately I've just been kind of like the other side of it, like, not that I'm not determined, but I'm just like struggling with being driven sometimes, because life is just demanding sometimes, and some seasons of life are just busier than others. So I'm trying to, like, this is summer, is like, there's just a lot of things going on, but I also have more free time. So, I think I'll have it done by the end of the summer, but I'm just I keep wanting to add more to it. And I finished an intro, which I'm going to call Reflective Exordium. I think exordium is another word for basically an intro or musical intro or something like that. I thought it was cool. And the album's called Hidden Reflections, so that's why I put the Reflective Exordium in front of it. I thought it sounded cool. And I wanted to make an interlude, but it doesn't really need one. So I basically just need to produce an outro. And then there are 2 songs that I still need to finish writing lyrics for that I've been putting off. Because it's like, I thought it was a cool idea before. But sometimes, you know what, you just start an idea and if like it's not flowing or anything, just, you know, scrap it or keep it for later for another song. Like, the musical part's done, but the lyrics aren't. And the lyrics is the part I'm struggling with. So if I'm not having inspiration for the lyrics, I should just change the idea, because I've had like several more song ideas. Like, oh, I could write about that or this or that. So I might change a couple of the song names, at least one, and that would be changed to. I was debating on doing something about. If evil had a face or something like that, and basically kind of just like continuing the song If I Were the Devil, just kind of like reflecting on like the nature of evil is basically what it's about. Then there's also a song called Serpent Strategy, which I'm not changing that one because I thought it was a clever name, and I actually finished lyrics. And a lot of the songs I'm going through and re-recording vocals, because as I've recorded the album, I've kind of found my vocal voice a little bit better. Average done. So, I'm going through and re-recording some of the vocals. Actually, pretty much all of them. And I'll be right back. Check on these. Ooh. I don't think they're done yet. Making stuffed peppers for the first time. I've never made them. So, yeah. But there's, I guess, an album update. The artwork is in progress. Last night I had an idea to change up my logo a little bit. So I kind of sketched one out and sent it to my artist. He made kind of like a better version of it, like an awesome version of it, because I can't draw. But, so, I have a new logo. It's not much different from the other one. It's just kind of like, so before it was like F, F, H, and then there's like a little bit of Hebrew writing above it, which is Aish in Hebrew, which means fire or burning in Hebrew, I'm pretty sure. Then there was a circle below it, which is like a symbol for heaven, because heaven is like eternal, and the circle is like, you know, it's like never ending, basically. So, and then there's just like some cool squiggly lines and stuff around it. But basically, like, what he did was put the 2 F's on this side of the H and the H in the middle, just to make it, I don't know, I thought it looked cooler that way. So, changed up the logo a little bit, and he made kind of like a flaming design. So that I'm going to put that on a t-shirt, since a lot of fans have requested, you know, just like my logo on my t-shirt, not all these like crazy like album art all over print designs. I'm going to keep those because I think they're cool. And I'm going to order some so I can brag on it. And maybe if people see the designs, they'll be like, whoa, that's cool. But some fans just like the idea of, you know, picture of my album with the logo. So I was thinking for the new album, I would have the album art just on a kind of like blank shirt, and then the logo on the back or something. So, yeah. So there's that. And I guess to add to like the theme of the day, which, if you're new, I try to like every day like post about a certain theme. So like Mondays are like motivational Mondays, or Tuesdays are triggered Tuesdays, which I didn't write a triggered Tuesday post yesterday. I forgot. I did a Warrior Wednesday post today, a short one, because I just had the idea to write about being driven and struggling with drive, because that's like what I've been kind of struggling with, is being driven a little bit. And I think what really drives someone is like, I don't know all the psychological terms and stuff like that, but it's like when you do something, the more you're gonna want to do it. So it's just like to be driven, it's like you gotta want it. In order to want it, you gotta do it, or you gotta create some sort of desire for it. You gotta create like a healthy desire for it. Like a healthy desire to do like whatever like you feel called to do, like music or whatever it is. You name it, writing, art, just whatever it is. So like, in order to like be driven, is like you gotta create desire for it. That's like the simplest way I can explain it. So, I guess just to add to my post earlier, talking about struggling with drive. Because like, man, like last year I was in such a like mindset of like being driven and stuff and just dominating. And then like this year, I've just been kind of like, ugh. But it's also like, you gotta understand there are seasons of life. I think it's good to always find a way you can consistently do what you feel called to do, even if it's for like 10 minutes a day or whatever. But the best thing is to like find a way you can do it daily. But also sometimes there's just life, to be realistic about it. So, there's just life, and there's just learning how to live, learning how to grow, and it's always a challenge, learning to be disciplined and making time for the things you should do, and also making time for things like family and work, and just taking care of your own home and everything. It's just everything in life. It's just sometimes it's just a struggle, but it's like it's a worthy struggle. It's worth struggling for. It's worth working for. And don't believe the idea that you have to give up the things you love in order to be there for your family, because you can still do the things you love and be there for them. Sometimes you just have to find a way to keep it going. And that's like what I'm doing right now. It's just like I'm making sure that I'm not stopping, that I'm not losing momentum. I might be slowing down a little bit as far as my production goes, because last year I produced almost 2 albums worth of content, because my last album was like 7 tracks, and I produced like easily that within the last few months after my album was released, still last year before this year started. Like most of the songs I released this year were already produced last year. So my production level's kind of gone down because just learning how to live and stuff, and learning how to live with a baby, and learning how to make family life a priority, and making the work on your home the biggest priority, while also working a day job, providing and everything. So sometimes like I think there's like those who are very much like driven and in that dominate mindset and stuff like that, like I was before I had my son last year. And I think that's part of it, like what motivated it. But then after having him, it's just like, whew, this is a lot of work. And I find that I'm actually like lower on energy when I don't make time for like making music and stuff like that. I need to check these peppers again. You're looking good. Should be done next time. So, where was I? Gosh. Man, I was really on a good roll there, I think, on what I was talking about. Also, I keep forgetting to include this in the introductions, is like, if you're one of those people who critiques mistakes and stuff like that in videos and stuff like that, you might as well just leave, because I don't edit my videos. I don't, go through, edit, cut out mistakes or anything in the podcast episodes even. The more imperfect, the better, I think. So, if you don't like that, then you might as well get used to it, or go find a different artist. And yes, I have that philosophy with my music. Not like a lot of mistakes, okay? But some mistakes I do intentionally leave there. I think it sounds too, I could rant all day about how some heavy metal today just sounds so artificial and fake, because they edit out all of the mistakes and stuff. They want it sounding perfect, and it's just like, it sounds really super technical and cool, but it's not memorable at all. And part of what's not memorable about it is because it's so perfect, it's artificial, and I don't connect with it. I don't connect with perfect because I'm not that. So I'm not one of those artists that's like, gotta have everything perfect either. I'm trying not to be. Part of me is like wanting to add more to the album and stuff like that, but as far as my production goes, I'm not very usually when I record guitars and stuff, it's just like one go, boom. A lot of bands, they cut out the noises and stuff. No, feedback's good. I don't cut out the noises a lot of times. Don't really cut out anything as far as guitar goes. Now with vocals and stuff like that, I do, because it's annoying, and no one wants to hear you going. Sometimes when you leave the breath in there, it sounds cool. It's like you're like before a breakdown or something. But other than that, it's annoying. So, I understand some people feel that way about guitars or whatever, but I don't. So, I don't do the fake metal. So yeah. But I think I'm getting close to having a long episode, so I'm going to end this live now. And I'll see you later. What's so funny? My wife just walked in, so that's why I'm ending the episode.